money can you make as an enrolled agent? So welcome. If you are new to me, my name is Krista Tyus. I teach tax and accounting professionals how to get more clients utilizing social media and scale to multiple six figures. Okay. So we are on an enrolled agent series for the month of August. We were going to be talking about all things enrolled agent and how you need to study to become an enrolled agent, what service you can offer, how much money you can make. So definitely, if you're new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I come out with weekly content, just helping you up-level your tax and accounting firm, right? With education, with marketing, with the whole nine. All right, so first let's talk about, what is the average salary an enrolled agent can make? Because there's two different paths that you can go on. One, you can go on the route of working for someone, right? Which is always great experience to be able to work for a company, work for a tax and accounting firm or CPA firm, or even work for one of the franchise locations. It can really provide you a lot of great experience. But you are capped at a certain income level, right? So when you're working for someone, the market dictates how much that position gets paid, right, as a salaried or as an hourly employee. And so based upon the research that I've done, the average salary for an enrolled agent is about $57,000 per year. Okay. And that's not a bad salary, right? So let's just round it up to 60 grand, right? So over 12 months, that's $5,000 per month. That's not bad, especially if you are a newer agent, a newer enrolled agent, you want to get your feet wet. Bringing home $60,000 is not a bad look. Okay. That's great when you're starting out and when you're trying to get your feet wet, you're trying to get that experience. But we're talking about, how much money can you make as a self-employed person? Because this is the route that a lot of my clients, they want to go. They want to be self-employed. They want to, have their own business. They want to be their own CEO. And if this is the route that you want to take your enrolled agent license, this could be a very lucrative field for you. Okay. So it's very simple to scale to six figures as an enrolled agent, or just as a tax and accounting professional in general, when you know how to market and sell your services. Okay. You still need to understand marketing and sales, providing value, communicating value, all that good stuff, having a niche, right? Having a core expertise. So let's look at the income potential. Right. So when we typically think about an enrolled agent, you're probably going to offer what? Tax resolution services, right? Most people that go down this avenue of becoming an enrolled agent, you want to offer tax resolution services. Okay. And I've done a complete, free video on YouTube that you can check out where I go over the differences between tax resolution and tax representation. So definitely check that video out because it's going to give you a lot more detail on what exactly tax resolution services entail. Okay. Now, tax resolution services, the minimum fee that people typically charge in this industry is around $2,500. Okay, $2,500. Now, when you're going after tax resolution cases, you typically want to work with people that owe the Internal Revenue Service and state combined over $10,000. You guys heard those commercials? If you owe the IRS more than $10,000, right? You guys heard that? Type a one in the chat if you actually heard those big 1-800 gorillas out there promoting their tax resolution services, right? The reason why is because when a client typically owes over $10,000, one, that client has a greater chance of being garnished, greater chance of being levied, right? And that is a very painful situation to be in when it comes to a person, right? A person that is working, right? I've had plenty of clients where their Social Security checks have inadvertently been garnished because they had their Social Security going into their bank account. They had their payroll or their pension going into their bank account. The IRS is not looking to see if your money is commingled, right, with any other payments, any government payments. They take everything, right? They take what is due to them if you are willfully neglecting paying them. right? They put, so many people have come to me with liens being put on their property when they go sell their home. They can't sell their property because the IRS has an interest, has a lien put on this property, right? And so if you owe the Internal Revenue Service over $10,000, you are more likely to experience some of these tactics that the Internal Revenue Service utilizes in order to collect their money. Okay. So, and one, it's just, it makes more sense to go after someone that typically owes over $10,000 because they're more in pain, right? The amount of debt that they owe is more in pain. Really, that's the only way I can think about how to communicate this, where they would even want to pay you $2,000, $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 plus dollars, right? So the more money a client typically owes Internal Revenue Service, the more work is probably involved with that, right? The more strategies you have to deploy in order to help them resolve this tax debt. Okay, so tax resolution, when you're looking at offering a minimum service of about $2,500, well, let's do the math. Okay, so if we want to make that same $60,000 in our own business, well, we only need 2 clients per month, right? Paying us $2,500 a piece. Now, mind you, this is the minimum, right? I know a lot of enrolled agents, they start off at $5,000, right? They start off at $7,500 to work with them. Okay. And a lot of them are closing engagements at $10,000 because they're helping people with huge, complex tax resolution cases, right? And what tax resolution means, I want you guys to wrap this around your head. It just simply means it's a taxpayer, whether individual or business, that owes the Internal Revenue Service, and more than likely the state and local governments as well. And you're helping them strategize on what is the best strategy on how we can either lower, eliminate, and get you back on track with all of these government entities with regards to your tax liability. Okay, so if the minimum price is $2,500, you only need 2 clients to make that same $5,000 in your own business, right? Being your own CEO and your own entrepreneurship entity, right? Whereas you have to work 40 plus hours per week for someone, and that income is capped, right? You are capped on how much money you can make when you work with someone. Okay. Now, here's the caveat that I need to make sure I do my it's not due diligence. I can't think of the word, but I need to make sure that you guys understand why it's this way. Okay. Why? So, and I love to engage with you guys. I love when you guys respond to me and you kind of type in the chat. It makes me feel more connected with you guys, right? Because I know this is all social media and Zoom and YouTube and Instagram and all that good stuff. So definitely connect with me, right? So let me ask you something. Why do you think it's an income disparity with regards to employee and entrepreneurship? Why is it that the same enrolled agent who's capped at around $60,000 in a salary can come over here as an entrepreneur and make $150,000 or $100,000, right? Why do you guys think that that's the case, right? Can anyone type in the chat, engage with me? Let me check on my people on YouTube. Let me check on my people. Hey, Yolanda. Hey, Trina. Hey, Candace. Hey, guys on IG. So I'm going to help you guys out while you guys over there percolating and you guys, getting your creative juices going. Okay. The reason why there's a disparity is because all of the onus, all of the marketing, all of the sales, all of the operations is on you. Right. So while, yes, you have a capped limit, you also don't have any responsibilities on this side. You don't have to worry about how the bills are going to get paid. You don't have to worry about bringing in the clients. Right. Most importantly, how about that? You don't have to worry about bringing in the client. Right. You don't have to spend money on Facebook ads, Google, YouTube, flyers, mailers, all that good stuff. When you transition to be an entrepreneur, the entire marketing and sales, boom, Aida said it, overhead expenses falls on you, right? It falls on you. So while there is a greater level of income potential over here, uncapped, unlimited income potential, you also are taking on a greater amount of risk. Okay. So let's be clear. And that's what I kind of just wanted to make sure that we were transparent about. Okay. Now, when you do transfer over here, when you do transfer to an entrepreneur, you have greater control on the types of clients you service, on the type of services that you offer, on the type of fees that you can now charge. Okay. And so going back to our minimum fee of $2,500, we only need 2 clients to make that same $60,000. Now, let's just say we want to make $100,000, which is the majority of the people that I work with. They want to make over 6 figures, right? 6 figures is like the bare minimum. Well, now you only need 40 clients, right? And that's at a minimum. Again, there's a lot of people charging much more than $2,500, but a minimum of $2,500, you only need 40 clients to make $100,000 in income, right? We divide that by 12. Now you need about 3.5 clients a month, right, to make a 6-figure income. Now, with the marketing strategies that I teach, I'm confident that you guys can niche down. You can position your value. You can go out and market yourself on social media, and you can attract as well as hunt down your ideal clients and offer them your services, right? So now this is just one service offering. Okay, this is just one service offering. You can make 6 figures just with tax resolution. There's a lot of people that would love to just build a tax resolution firm, right? And so here's my personal opinion on that, right? Here's my personal opinion on that. Yes, you can build just a tax resolution firm. That could be a great way to go. But those same clients, especially if you're going after business clients, right, which is even way more profitable, right? Because let me back it up a few. You can go after the individual. Let's just say it's a police officer who worked for 20 years and they claimed exempt for the past 10. And now they owe the Internal Revenue Service $50,000. Okay. Yes, you can get $25,000 to $5,000 from that person, maybe even help them do an offer in compromise, maybe put them on a great installment agreement, get them caught up with their back taxes if they have any. You can do that for sure. Or you can do what I always implore you guys to go after our business clients. Even with tax resolution, going after the business clients is going to be so much more profitable. Can someone tell me, what do you think is one of the main taxes that businesses fall behind on? Actually, give me the top 2. It's really top 2 taxes that business clients fall back on. And I'm talking about corporations, partnerships, S corps, right? I am talking about disregarded entities, but disregarded entities that make over, I would say at least $250,000. What are the top 2 taxes that these folks fall back on? Right? Let's see what you guys are going to put in here. Let's see. There you go, Richie. Okay, come through. Richie came through. Richie said payroll taxes. Okay, beautiful, Richie. Payroll taxes. And why do businesses fall behind on their payroll taxes, right? Why? Well, let me tell you, if you guys haven't been in a position to make payroll or to have payroll, it's one of the hardest taxes for a lot of businesses, because not only do they have to pay their employee, but they also have to pay their portion of FICA, right? So just how an employee pays their federal, their Social Security and Medicare taxes, an employer, they have to pay their match. Right. So whenever a business hires an employee, they're not just paying that salary. They're paying their salary plus their portion of the FICA taxes. And so what a lot of businesses get in trouble with, they'll pay their employees, sure enough, but they won't be remitting their portion of FICA taxes to the Internal Revenue Service. Or here's another thing that they might do. The withholding, the FICA withholding from the employee's paycheck, they might not remit that over to the Internal Revenue Service, right? So you're supposed to pay your employee their salary, you're withholding their federal, Social Security, and Medicare taxes. It's the business's fiduciary responsibility, their trust fund responsibility to take that money that they're withholding from their employees and remit it over to the Internal Revenue Service. Where employers get in trouble at is they are withholding these taxes from the employees' pay, and they're not remitting it over to the Internal Revenue Service, and they're not matching their employer portion. So the IRS does not play with The trust fund taxes, especially. And the trust fund taxes is the portion that the employer is withholding, right? Rightfully so, for the IRS, and it's to be remitted over to the IRS, state, and sometimes even local governments. And businesses get in trouble with this, right? Every time, especially if they're trying to do their payroll themselves. Right now, if they have a payroll provider, they are less likely to fall into this trap. But even with the payroll provider can only remit over what the business owner allows, right? The onus is on them. The control is on them, whether or not they remit over the funds, both their trust funds and their employer portion, okay? So this could be a very lucrative engagement for a lot of enroll agents if you want to offer these higher value tax resolution services. You know, a company can quickly owe tens of thousands of dollars just in 1 year, just off of getting behind on their payroll taxes. 1 year can put you so far behind, right? So you as an enroll agent, you can go after very niche businesses and help them get on track with their payroll taxes, right? Help them create a plan so that not only are they on track with their payroll taxes, but they're also on track with maybe their estimated taxes, right? So there's a lot of businesses that are either disregarded entities or corporations. They have a tax liability most cases when they have a profit at the end of the year. And so what a lot of businesses get in trouble with, especially over the past 12 months, guys, there's a lot of businesses that have been making some money. Okay. People have learned how to leverage this pandemic. They have learned how to pivot their services, right? And so a lot of businesses are making more money. And what happens is because they're on this incline, they fail to start withholding their own estimated taxes. So by the time they file their 2020 return, they are hit with this huge tax bill. And a lot of businesses, when they go to file their 2021 tax return, they're going to be hit with this huge tax bill because they were not allocating their estimated taxes throughout the year, right? And when you don't do that, the IRS penalizes you, right? They penalize you underpayment penalties. If you didn't pay enough and your liability, you get a penalty, right? And so here's how you can transition from $2,500 engagements now to $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 engagements. And now you only need one client a month to make a six-figure income, or two clients a month to make a six-figure income, right? Who here will love to grow to a $100,000 to $250,000 enroll agent firm just working with 2 to 3 people per month, right? 2 to 3 cases per month, right? It's a completely different model. It's a completely different shift from the model of having hundreds of tax clients, right? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tax clients, right? We're shifting from offering a higher value service, being able to charge 5 figures for our service, being able to help them in an intimate capacity and really help them get results that they can feel and measure within their business. And not only do you get the tax resolution, but now you're opening yourself up to all of the other additional services that you now can offer. And this is my preferred way on how to grow a firm. So if I go after a tax resolution client, I help them get on track with their payroll, their trust fund taxes. I help them get on track with their state taxes, because 9 times out of 10, if a business or individual owes Internal Revenue Service, they probably owe the state. And if they live in a city that charges tax, they probably owe local taxes as well. Okay, so let's be clear. One tax issue probably equates to multiple different types of tax issue, because if you were negligent with Internal Revenue Service, you probably have been negligent with other government entities as well with your tax liability. So going into this, I find fascinating. I used to love helping clients with tax resolution cases. Right now, it does require more time, more commitment, right? This is not just a tax return that you do in an hour and you're done. Right? This is you calling down to Internal Revenue Service, you actually filling out Form 2848, which is a power of attorney for your client. You can also, actually, most states that I've dealt with, they actually allowed me to utilize Form 2848 that the IRS has with them, or some states might have their own power of attorney form that you can fill out. But this is you taking on the onus, right? You're taking on the responsibility to help them figure out a plan, right? And to get on or to come to a mutual resolution, right? Oftentimes you might run into a case where your client can afford to pay. And sometimes the resolution is, hey, let's get you on a payment plan that is comfortable for you, that's not going to stress you, and that's going to allow you to pay off this debt, but also keep current with your existing liabilities and your future liabilities that are going to come up. Sometimes, other times, it's, hey, you're insolvent, which is just a beautiful word for broke, right? You can say, hey, you're insolvent, and we can actually reduce or eliminate this tax debt with Internal Revenue Service, right? And so there's going to be a few different strategies that you're going to be able to help your clients go through. And that's the beautiful part, because, you know, when clients are going through this, they don't have time, right? They're running a business. They're already wearing all of the hats. So to hire someone and pay them a few $1,000s is like a huge weight off their shoulders, especially to handle their tax debt. Now, this also could be a situation where it can parlay into some tax planning. So let's talk about some ancillary services, right? One of them is tax planning. So if you have a client that, you know, owes tens of thousands of dollars when they filed their tax return because they grew exponentially for the year, well, it might be because now they're structured wrong. Now they need to be in a different entity. Now they need to run their business in a different capacity that can actually help them lower their tax rate, right? So tax planning can be another service that you can offer within your enrolled agent firm to help these people strategize, well, how can we look towards the future? And this is why I love tax planning, is because, you know, tax preparation is after the fact, right? You're already doing taxes for financials that have already happened, right? You're just plugging in the numbers. Whereas tax planning, you're looking to the future, which is why planning is the key word in that. You're looking to the future. You're being proactive. You're looking to see, well, you know, what are the credits that you're going to qualify for in the future? What are some deductions do we need to plan for? What are some structuring activities that we need to account for now so that we can make sure that we're paying the least amount of taxes, right? Are we in the best entity now and in the future, right? When we're looking at 5, 10, 15 years from now. A good tax plan does not just look at 12 months or just this year. A good tax plan is going to look at, well, how do you want to grow your business over the next 5 years? What is your exit plan, right? And when you're coming to your clients at that high level of capacity, you're able to help them save more in taxes now and in the future, right? Especially in the future where it's going to be more beneficial, right? Because if you're a business owner, you're thinking about growth. You're not thinking in 5 years, I'm going to be worse off than where I'm at today, right? No business is thinking like that. Business, you're thinking exponential growth. You're thinking, you know, 2, 3x in revenue, right? And so when we're looking at a tax plan, a great tax plan takes 5 years into consideration. It takes 10 years into consideration, right? So some of the tax strategies that Amazon has been able to leverage was from things and activities that they implemented 10 years ago. 20 years ago, they're now benefiting from some of those tax strategies, right? So a beautiful tax plan can parlay into that. Now, talking about how much does a tax plan cost, right? Minimum, you're going to start off at, again, $25,000 to $5,000 minimum. And that can go up, right? $10,000, $15,000 plus, depending on the size of the business and the complexity of the tax plan. Now, when you bring on this tax resolution client, they have tax issues, they have tax problems. Well, what other services would they typically need? Naturally, go ahead and type it in the chat. What other services would they typically need if they came to you for a tax problem, which means they owed Internal Revenue Service. They probably owe the state and local government. What services would they actually need? All right, so I'm gonna give you one. A big part that I've personally experienced is tax preparation, right? You're naturally going to get tax preparation clients when you take on tax resolution clients. Want to know why? Because again, it goes back to the whole neglect thing, right? If they neglect their tax liability, they probably haven't been filing their taxes. So tax preparation is a natural byproduct of tax resolution. So this is why, going back, I don't, I love when people say that they want to have just a tax resolution firm, but also think you leave a lot of money on the table when you just do tax resolution, because naturally those people are going to need tax preparation. Naturally, they're going to need a tax plan. Naturally, I think someone else put it in there, Tina or Scaled, she put tax plan, prep, and bookkeeping, right? Bookkeeping. Again, we're dealing with a business client that has tax issues. They've already demonstrated neglect with their tax issues. What else is neglected? I have not met a business that had back tax issues and they had pristine bookkeeping. I have not. I don't know if you guys have, but I have not experienced a client that has some back tax issues and their bookkeeping was amazing. They had everything just tracked and measured correctly, right? Oftentimes, again, if they neglected their tax situation, their bookkeeping is probably not up to date. It's probably not totally accurate, right? They probably aren't looking at their numbers on a weekly or daily basis, right? They probably aren't implementing a budget, a forecast. They probably aren't tracking and measuring their KPIs, right? So I just named several other services that you can offer. CFO services is one, or just higher level accounting services is one. So when you go after your enrolled agent and you start attracting the painful part, like tax resolution is a need. It's painful for business clients and individuals. It's a very uncomfortable position to be in, especially when you don't know what to do, especially when you're wearing all the hats in your business, or you're just so focused on managing your business, right? Your team. When you go after the tax resolution, it's such a prime opportunity to build and start a relationship with a business client, right? Because now everything else becomes easier. The tax plan becomes a no-brainer to sell. Tax preparation, you already need it. We got to get caught up on your taxes anyway. It's an easy service to offer. CFO services, right? A budget, a forecast, tracking KPIs, having a higher level advisor, right? Everything else becomes so much easier to offer because we're solving the most painful thing in their business right now. When a business owes taxes, it is pain for them. It is anxiety on 10 for them, right? So when you go after your EA, you're going to be in a prime position to be able to represent taxpayers, which means you can fill out Form 2848 power of attorney, and you can be the person talking to the Internal Revenue Service. You can be the person going instead of your client to the actual audit, right? Or the examination. You can be the person to take on that burden of dealing with the Internal Revenue Service. And also, I don't know, I think it's fun. Okay, like I said, I think it's fun, like being able to talk to the IRS and go through their situation and create these plans for them and look at, their tax transcripts and understand, the history of their finances and, what they have done and what they haven't done, and then finally creating a plan of action to say, hey, here is the best strategy to get the best result. And to come out of that and for people to feel so much more calm, for their anxiety to be alleviated. Like offering tax resolution services is a very fulfilling experience, at least it was for me, right? All right. So what I want you guys to understand is that going after your enrolled agent, going after this licensure is going to open up a broad range of opportunities for you. You're going to be able to make more money. You're going to be able to have more impact, right? You're going to be able to help more people on a more intimate level with their business, right? All right, guys. So what questions do you guys have? Let me see what you guys are posting right here in the chat. let's see, Yolanda, Rodolin, Elise. Hey guys. So Real Music says, how does one get tax resolution clients? Hey, Real. So listen, with marketing, right? So this is what we teach. We teach you how to niche down. One, it starts with a niche, right? I don't recommend anyone to start their marketing without understanding the type of business that you want to go after. You have to understand, what industry is this business in, right? What type of tax issues do they typically have? Right. I can tell you off the top of my head, one of the worst tax resolution cases I had was for a restaurant, right? Restaurants have so many different moving parts, right? They have employees, they have sales tax, they have inventory, right? And most restaurants that I've helped, they've had a multitude of tax problems. Okay. So that in itself, once I understand, well, what's my industry that I'm going after, the marketing becomes easy, right? Because that's half the battle, is just understanding what I think tax resolution people get into, what EAs, what they do wrong is that they don't niche down. Yes, you can help everybody with their tax issue, but should you? Like, should you help everybody with their tax problem? No, because you're going to get lost in the sauce. You won't be able to be heard in this internet realm. You're going to sound like everyone else. You're not going to be able to stand out from the competition. So with regards to your marketing and how to get any type of client, whether it's a tax resolution client, a tax prep, a bookkeeping, a CFO client, you have to have an industry. You have to be a subject matter expert. Everything else after that becomes a lot easier. But what I find is that people have a problem niching down. People have a problem saying, this is my ideal client. This is their pain or problem that they're struggling with in their business. And this is the solution that I'm going to offer them to help alleviate that pain or problem and help them hit their goals. People don't want to niche down. And so it's hard for them to get clients. It's hard for them to make money. It's hard for them to stand out from the competition. It's hard for them to get noticed because they don't want to have a niche. Great question. So Rodolin says, I wanted to focus on tax for hospitality. Beautiful. Yeah. I haven't had a tax client in the hospitality niche, but I can see how that could be a great industry to go after, right? There's a lot of mom and pop motels and hotels, and even, kind of like similar service models around that you can go after. I think that's great, Rodolin. Joanna says, what is the easiest business market niche to go for tax resolution? You guys like, yo, Krista, just give me the industry, the niche, and let me go do that. No, that's a really great question, Joanna. So I would say the best businesses for tax resolution are businesses that are higher risk for owing the Internal Revenue Service, right? So I already gave you one. Restaurants, they are prime high risk to owe the Internal Revenue Service because they have so many different components of their business that they have to manage, right? Sales tax, right? A lot of restaurants that I've helped, they had a sales tax problem, right? A lot of restaurants that I've helped, they had those payroll issues because a restaurant, they have to have employees, right? You can't own a restaurant without having employees. You guys agree? So that business model is more likely to have IRS issues because when you have more employees, it's more due diligence, it's more paperwork, it's more regulation, right? And so they are more susceptible to fall behind with their payroll liability, right? Then you have inventory. You have not only payroll, inventory, sales tax, but you have other taxes that they might be subject to, like excise tax, use tax on alcohol and things like that. And so I think restaurants would be first and foremost to come to my mind. Plus, it's a huge industry. Can we agree that the restaurant industry is a huge industry? So again, we're only talking about getting 2 restaurants a month. You guys can just market within your city probably and lock in 2 restaurants, bars, or breweries, you know what I'm saying? Or even food truck people, right? You can lock those people in at least 2 a month. So that's just one industry. So think about it like that. Like think about who is the person, what is the industry that is more likely to fall behind with their IRS debt or to fall behind with their state or local tax debts, right? And then if those industries excite you, because I still need you to be excited about these industries, right? You're going to be spending a lot of time talking to these people. If those industries excite you, then go after one. Don't go after all of them. Go after one, okay? Jamal says, does your ethnicity play to how businesses view your abilities? Hey, Jamal. So does your ethnicity play into how businesses view your abilities? So here's what I say to that. I say people respect expertise, right? So no matter what your ethnicity is, if you are an expert, right? If you are an expert, if you are knowledgeable, or if you are capable, people respect that no matter what ethnicity you are. So when you're thinking about offering enroll agent, or not offering enroll agent, but going after your EA, offering tax resolution services, this is why we niche down so that we can be an expert. So that when we talk to people, we're confident. That's what people respect. They respect your confidence. They respect your ability to solve their problem, right? If you can communicate that at a very high level, everything else becomes irrelevant. Your ethnicity, your gender, your age, right? All that becomes irrelevant. Now, am I saying that there's no biased people out there? Yeah, it's biased people. But at the end of the day, let your expertise speak for itself. Let the fact that you have confidence in knowing that you understand their problem and you are the best person that can help solve their problem. So when you come to anything with that sense of confidence, with that sense of knowing, because you've actually done the work, you've actually researched, you've actually studied, you know the tax law, you know how to help these people. When you come with that level of energy and confidence, everything else becomes less important, right? So I want you to feel empowered to know that, right? Don't let your ethnicity or your age or your gender or your creed, like whatever limiting belief is out there, don't let that hold you back. What you want to focus on is just becoming the best in this niche, in this industry, for this particular service offering, right? And that's easy to do, right? It's so easy to do because who else is out here trying to become the best in the industry? Who else? There's very few competitors and competition of people that are like, I'm going to geek out on the restaurant industry. I'm going to learn everything that I need to know about restaurants, about sales tax, about trust fund taxes, about payroll, about the best entity election, about the best inventory strategies. I'm going to geek out and I'm going to understand how I can help people at a higher capacity, how I can actually help people get results. When you go from being an after the fact person, like, oh, I just want to go in and do some bookkeeping and after the fact, or I just want to go in and prepare some taxes after the fact, to going into, I want to help people strategize. I want to help people grow. I want to help them increase their net profit margins. When you have that shift in mentality, you are always going to be sought after. You're always going to be needed and wanted in the marketplace, regardless of who you are and where you're from. Okay, great question. Great question. Oh, I got a little hot. I got a little hot talking about that. Oh man. So Scale says, I'm thinking retail and daycare and hairstylist. I've been struggling to go after one. No worries. You know, that's a common thing. People, it's hard. It's hard going after one particular industry, but I always tell people just try to focus for at least 90 days. Try to focus for at least 90 days. So pick one, right? Pick one. Also go after the one that is more likely to need your services. That's a caveat. You do want to go after the niche that is more likely to need and want and be willing and able and ready to pay for your services. Okay, so that's the caveat. Because if I had a choice of going after tax resolution clients, if I had restaurants, or if I had psychiatrists, I'm going to go after the restaurants, right? One, they have more of a need and desire, and they're more ready and willing to pay me. Whereas a psychiatrist or a therapist that is just running their solo practice, they're less likely to have these types of issues, right? Great question. So let's see. Elias says, my father says the low income world is the best to get into. They have less professionals in that world. Who would be your competition? They're typically loyal clients and they are easy to please. You said low income, Elias? That used to be the model. Honestly, that used to be the model that everyone did. Like that's the model that H&R Block built their business on, right? Going after the low income markets, which is a huge market, right? You gotta look at the data. You gotta look at the statistics. Yes, that is the majority of the people. So I think let me actually Google it really quick. Let's actually see what is the average salary in the United States. What is the average in the US? Right? Can anyone guess? Can anyone type in the chat? Don't Google it because I just Googled it, but I want to hear what you guys think. What is the average salary in the United States? Go ahead and type it in the chat for me. Let's see what you guys come up with. I just want you to guess. I just want you guys to guess. What is the average salary in the United States? Okay, let's see what you guys come up with. 30K, okay. Did you Google that, Waddleton? Okay, so you guys said 30K, 30K, 45K, 45K, 28K, 56, 50, 50, 40. Okay. So it looks like the average that I'm seeing that most of you guys are saying is about 45 to 50K. Well, I just Googled it. And as of 2019, the average salary or the median income was $31,133. That's crazy, right? $31,133 is the median salary, okay? So when you're thinking about income potential, well, listen, we just said that we're charging a minimum of $2,500, right? So if we take that same 31,000, you only need 12 clients for the year to make 30 grand. You can do 12 clients over 3 months, right? Or you can do 12 clients in 1 month, right? So that's just perspective for you guys, right? So the low income, it is more people in this low income, and it's also more competition, right? It's more people going after, the EITC clients, the child tax credit clients, right? It's a lot more people going after that. One, it doesn't take a whole lot of specialized knowledge. Can we agree? And I can even back that up with that it doesn't take a whole lot of specialized knowledge because you have over 50 million people that prepare their taxes themselves using TurboTax or a similar software, right? So there's no real knowledge that you have to know to prepare taxes for the majority of the people who have a tax filing requirement, right? You do need to know your individual tax law, your credits, your deductions, and things like that, right? But there's not a lot of specialized knowledge for that. The majority of the people probably would have one W-2, they probably have 1 or 2 children, and they might be married. That's a very simple tax return. So going back to what Elias was saying, he was saying his father says the best market to go after was low income. Well, that was the case, right? That was the case until a lot more people started to get into the market, right? Now you have over 1 million people who have their P10, right? Their prepared tax identification number, have over 1 million preparers just in the United States, right? And so now we have to take our knowledge, we have to take our expertise up a notch, right? Now you have software that is doing bookkeeping for you, right? You have software that is doing the tax preparation process for you. So if you want to stay relevant, especially in today's market, you have to increase your skills. You have to invest in your knowledge. You have to be dedicated to learning and geeking out in a particular industry so that you can stand out from the competition, so that you can command a higher fee because you have more of an intimate, detailed knowledge of their financials and how they should be structured, right? So now is the time to not stay in the mass market, right? Now is the time to go after where it's less people, but the income potential is way more higher. So yeah, I'd rather now you guys go from having to work with, 1,000 tax clients to now you only work with 50 to 100, but you're charging $1,000 to $2,000 per tax return. And now you're able to help them with CFO services and charge $1,000 to $2,500 per month. And now you can help them with the tax plan and charge $5,000 for a tax plan, right? I'd rather you guys play in this field, because guess what? The further you get up, the less competition it is. There's not a lot, I'm telling you guys, there's not a lot of people that are investing into their skills, into their knowledge. There's not a lot of people that are willing to become subject matter experts. It's not a lot. So for those that take the great stride, those that go on that journey, you're going to scale your business faster because one, the people that are making more money, they want to work with some of the best, right? And you guys have a very beautiful group of people to go after, right? Or a segment of people to go after. So here's what I mean. You have this lower group, which is the majority of people, which is still, listen, we're not turning down any clients. Let's be clear. I keep telling you guys that we don't turn down any clients, but marketing wise, we're not marketing to this group of people, right? Then you have your elite, you have your corporate 500 companies, right? You have your public companies. We're not talking about those folks, right? We're excluding them and we're excluding them. We're talking about this mid-market, this sweet spot of companies that typically make anywhere between $500,000 and I would say about $10 million a year. It's a sweet spot, right? This sweet spot right here is where you can really do a lot of good as your own tax and accounting firm. You can do a lot of good in this area and you don't need a lot of them to make your own multi-six-figure revenue, right? So we're looking for companies that typically make over $500,000 that are scaling towards $10 million in revenue. They're at a perfect position for a tax plan. Oh, they need a tax plan. These people, they're starting to build wealth. And now they want to know, how they should be handling their portfolio, right? Now they're investing in real estate. Now they're investing in cryptocurrency and stocks and bonds. And they have no idea how to put together their portfolio in a way where they're saving the most amount of money and they're paying the least amount of taxes. This beautiful spot between $500,000 and $10 million, these people, they're starting to invest, right? They're growing their business, they're scaling, they have employees. This is a beautiful spot to really help them with the tax plan, to really garner some nice tax prep clients, to really garner some nice bookkeeping and CFO clients, right? Because they're not past the point where you're too small stuff for them, right? I would say once a person gets over maybe $10 million in revenue, their mindset is probably going, they're trying to scale probably to 50. Okay. So if they're over 10, the goal I can guarantee for most of them is to scale over 50, is to scale over 100. Right. And that's where they need some more of a corporate. Now they need an Ernst and Young, right? Now they need a Deloitte, right? But that 500 to 10 million mark, you guys can really do a lot of good, right? And there's way more people of them than it is of the top tier, the people that go to Ernst and Young or Deloitte or something like that, right? So this is the market that I would have you guys play in. I would have all of my clients go after to those businesses that are making at least $500,000 or more, at least. All right, let's see what you guys are saying on IG. So since we are in technology world now, how do you think that would affect bookkeeping because people can go online and do it themselves? Right, Kay. Yep, I was just talking about that. We're on the same page. Jamal says, but how do you make the connection with those enterprises? Many keep a tight circle, tough to break into or gain introductions to decision makers. Hey, Jamal. So great question. So, you know what? Your marketing strategy, right? It's all going to go back to your marketing strategy. It's all going to go back to, do you understand their pains, their problems? Do you have a niche, right? Like I said, once you understand what industry you want to go after, that's half the battle. I promise you guys, that is half the battle when you understand what industry you want to go into. Because now we know where to find them, right? I always like to tell people, if you want to find a Christian, where are you going to go? If you want to find a Christian right now, if I wanted to find a lovely Christian man right now, where would I go? Can somebody indulge me and type it in the chat? You guys know I'm just joking, right? But I do want you to indulge me and type it in the chat. But I wanted to find a nice Christian friend. Where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? Boom, church. I'm going to go to church, right? I'm going to find me a nice Christian church, and I'm going to be around, somebody said in the DMs, that too, right? But I'm going to go to church. Thank you, Abigail, Stacy, Deanna. Deanna said Chick-fil-A. Amen. Okay. Listen, find me a nice Christian man at Chick-fil-A, okay? No, but I'm going to go to church, okay? I'm going to go to church, okay? So I just use that as an example, guys. This is why we have to have a niche, because we know exactly where to find them. That's the only reason. We know exactly where to find. Well, that's not the only reason, but that is the main reason, because we know exactly where to find them. Okay. All right, guys. So great. I don't even know how long we've been rocking today, man, but I feel like we've been going for a minute. This was such a great and amazing conversation with you guys. I love when you participate and you talk back to me, right? You guys have been hilarious today. But listen, I want to round it out with inviting you to our Enroll Agent Study Accelerator, right? So we're launching it next week. So you have until Sunday to join, because if you want to become an Enroll Agent, we're going to spend the next 90 days studying and taking the exams, okay? You're going to get weekly coaching calls with me. So you're going to get all the training materials that you need to study for all 3 parts. And then we're going to meet on Zoom, right? And I'm going to teach you guys. I'm going to give you real world examples. I'm going to give you study tips and study hacks. I'm going to actually answer all of your questions, because guess what? This is tax law at the end of the day, okay? And you reading tax law sometimes is not the same as you understanding tax law, okay? So this is a prime opportunity for you guys to get on with someone and to get all of your burning questions answered, to get clarity around some of the things that you're going to be learning, right? You're going to be learning about depreciation. You're going to be learning about basis, depreciation, recapture. You're going to be learning about S corps and corporations and nonprofits and estates and retirement distributions and credits and deductions and due diligence and IRS examinations, right? Within the next 90 days. It's very intense. So the goal of this program is to help as many people in the next 90 days pass all 3 parts of the examination and help you become an Enroll Agent. I'm super excited because I've been wanting to do something like this for the past couple of years at this capacity, right? Where I can really show up every single week and give you support. And so you have until Sunday to join. And the link is bit.ly/Enrolled Agent 2021. So I'm going to try to put it in the chat for you guys, or it's going to be below this video once this video ends. Or if you're on Instagram, just go to the link in my bio. Go to the link in my bio and go ahead and get signed up. And I can't wait to work with you guys. So if you have any additional questions, go ahead and drop them below. I love to come back and read all the comments and everything that you guys